All right, let's take a look. So here's the quiz question. How do you do number 18? 7x plus y equals negative 57. And they're giving me negative 9, comma blank, and 0, comma blank, and 1, comma blank. And then they have a, which is 6, 0, and negative 6. These are kind of tough, aren't they? Kind of tedious. Looks like you guys figured it out, though. Minus 57, minus 64. Just writing it down is tedious. 6 minus 69 minus 64. And 6 minus 57. Minus 64. Okay. There we go. Got it written down. Okay. So how do we go about figuring this thing out? Well, we just start plugging in, right? It's just like a plug-in thing, really, right? It's just making sure you can plug in well. Hello, technology. We're waiting on you. I hit the button. And it's doing that. I'm plugging in again.
This is usually the feeling you get on a Monday.
Yes. Hello. Are we ready? Oh, good. There we are. All right. So, yeah. So, you just try the first one. Say, okay, 6. Is it 6? Well, this is x, and this is y. These are a bunch of y values, aren't they? You with me? Right? Because they're giving you the x every time. And they're asking you, what's the y that goes with this x, aren't they? Everybody see that? They're giving you the x, so you take that x, that minus 9, you put it right there, and they're saying, we think 6 goes with this one, 0 goes with that one, and I'm trying out answer A right now, right? I'm putting those 3 y values next to the 3 x values. I'm trying out answer A to see if it's right. It's not, and I will see that now. Right? So put in minus 9 and 6, for example, right? The first x and y. And then ask yourself, is that a true statement? 7 times minus 9, use your calculator. 7 times minus 9 is minus 63, plus 6, is that minus 57? Yes. That part's true. Do the second one. Put in 0, 0 now for x and for y. What are you going to get? 0 and 0. Is 7 times 0 plus 0 equal to negative 57? So A's out. You guys okay? This is how we did it last time? Does this seem like a weird way? It's weird you didn't like it. I know you guys look a little shocked. That's what I'm asking. Everybody's, what is he doing? Somebody stop that guy. Yeah, Joel.
Can't you just plug in the number they give you and just solve the equation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Don't do every single
Okay, sorry, I don't mean to change up forms on you. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. We will do that.
So give you X, you just plug
Yep.
it in.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Totally. We could do that. Yeah, I know. I'm doing what happens when you go to a tutor, huh? They show you a different way. It's like, what is that guy doing? I've already forgotten what way I did it last time. All right, so yeah, so you could do that. So you guys are saying you just take the negative 9?
Yeah.
Is that what I did yesterday? I don't even remember.
So you plug the negative 9 in for X?
Yeah. Beautiful. That'll work. And then just solve for y, right?
Yeah.
Then you go, okay, it's minus 63 plus y is minus 57, like that?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And then add the 63 to both sides. Y is 6. And you go, yeah, y is 6. So the first one should be 6, so it's either A, C, or D. Is that what you did? Now you look happier. All right, we'll do it that way. So B's out. B is for sure out. We got our first answer. The first y should be 6. Is that good? I put in x is negative 9 and solve for y. The first y should be 6. So it's either A, C, or D, or would you say or E, none of the above? Yeah. It's always an option. It's always lurking there, isn't it? All right. Next we'll do the next one. Yeah, everywhere. All right, so now let's do some. Put in a 0 for x. So take the 7x plus y is minus 57. Put in the 0. 7 times 0 plus y is minus 57. That's 7 times 0, 0. Y is minus 57. So the second answer should be minus 57. What was the first answer? 6, huh? So the second one should be minus 57. And boom, it's D. Well, unless, you tell them, Elizabeth, what? It could be E, Alex. Don't be too hasty. All right, so we got to try the third one just to be 100% sure, because we don't want to be 99% sure. All right, so the third one, we take the equation, 7x plus y, yet again. Put in the 1 for x. And that 7 plus y is minus 57. Subtract 7. Y is minus 60. Oh, 4. Yes. There it is. Minus 64. I added wrong.
Almost made it even. Wasn't it?
Almost made it E. It's close. Yeah, so D it is. Good? How to do that? Be able to do that on today's test? All right. Good. All right. Well, plan for the day. Like always, we have an ambitious 4-hour game plan. My goodness, you guys paid for a lot of math when you paid for this class.
Yay.
Let's see. All right, let's see. It's kind of like paying for the dentist, huh? Really rather not receive all the services?
No, because there I know what to expect.
That's right. You know, it might be better if I gave you a little Novocaine with the lecture, huh? And make it go a little better. All right, 5.3 and 5.5. And then exam number 4. Wow, only one more exam to go.
That's for Monday?
Exam number 5's on Monday?
That's for Monday?
This plan is today.
Okay.
This is right now.
Final exam.
We won't have to wait. No waiting.
When's the final exam gonna be?
Next Friday. Yeah, so next
Thursday
week.
and Friday?
Yeah, you guys have the schedule next week. Thursday, right? Thursday, Friday, exactly, Joel. Thursday, Friday. Thursday's exam 5,
Oh, okay.
and Friday's the final. Yeah, boom.
Nice.
Next week. Yeah.
We can have homework all week next week,
Up to that point. Mm-hmm.
so Thursday and Friday we won't have the homework though.
Is that true? No, you know what? Even Thursday night, after you take exam 5, there's like a few new sections. Yeah, there's no way I could squeeze them all in. Yeah. Planning the calendar in a 4-week class is always tricky. I remember when I sat down and planned it, I'm like, I can I got to move that, and I move it back and forth. And, yeah, best I could do. There'll be a few sections that will be the very last night of the class. There'll be no homework next Friday night. That I promise. That'll be it.
Until Monday.
That's right. I was blaming them, whoever them was. Yes. All right. That's right. These are my titles. That's right. Yep. Gotta say it. All right. So factoring easy trinomials. This will be a nice little section. So we've been factoring. What is factoring? What if one of your friends said, "Hey, you're taking one of them college math classes. What is factoring? What is it? I mean, what is factoring?" Might happen. Your friends might ask you. What is factoring? What is it? Well said. Exactly. It's unmultiplying. Did y'all catch that the other day when we were talking about it? Or it was just yesterday, wasn't it? It's unmultiplying, right? Factoring is unmultiplying. So that's exactly right. So when they ask me to factor this thing here, really, Kimberly knows. I hope you all know. It's about unmultiplying. It's like saying, hey, what was this thing that was multiplied? What were the couple of things anyway that were multiplied, and the answer became b squared plus 4b plus 3? What was it that was multiplied, and this was the answer? That's what they're asking. So how do we figure that out? How do we Now, we did a bunch of unmultiplying yesterday, factoring. Right? We did some with 3 terms yesterday, didn't we? Let me bring it over here and make it a little bigger. Right? Remember what we'd always begin with yesterday? We'd say, what do they have in common? Right? We'd always say, hey, what do they have in common? What goes into b squared, 4b, and 3? And the answer is nothing. Yeah, this is different today. I want to show you first off that this is not like yesterday. It's going to be a different kind of unmultiplying. right? Because what we did yesterday wouldn't work at all on this thing, right? Remember yesterday they'd give us things like trying to remember myself. What did they give us yesterday? Like I don't want to mess around with the technology. I'll just look back at my old notes that I used to use before technology.
7x plus 4y minus 28.
What do you got? One more time.
xy
Uh-huh.
minus 7x
Uh-huh.
plus 4y
Uh-huh.
minus 28.
Yeah, so that was a 4-termer. We did a 2-2 special deal. The first two had an X in common, right? And the last two had a 4 in common and all that kind of thing. Yeah, that was the 4-termers. We also did some 3-termers, you know. Like maybe if this one had if they all had some kind of number, like it was 2b squared plus 8b plus 12, then you could say, oh, they all have a 2. Take a 2 out or something like that. But anyway, that's not the case. So something's new here. They don't have anything in common, do they? There's nothing, there's no number or letter. They don't all have a b, because the 3 doesn't have a b. They don't all have some kind of number that goes into them, because the b squared doesn't have any number at all, or the invisible 1, but you know, nothing other than that. So what are you going to do? How do we unmultiply this?
So you wouldn't factor out the 2 from the 4b?
Yeah,
And just do that section?
the 2. The 2? You mean the b?
from
The b?
From the 4b?
Mm-hmm.
If you did parentheses 2, parentheses 2b. just do the
Well,
center section.
remember what we did yesterday? We always needed at least two terms that had the same thing. So yeah, so we're not gonna, not just from one thing. Yeah. So so we're not gonna do that. We want to take stuff out of a couple of things. So what we're gonna do on these in particular, this is basically one of these double parentheses that's been multiplied out. That's what it is. In other words, B's are in the front, right, right. It's one of those foils that's been done. We got to kind of think that backwards now. We got to think that foil backwards. Good thinking, yeah. So let me see if I can bring everybody up to where Eileen is at. Yeah. So basically, here's how you think. You look and you put B's in the front, and you ask yourself, what's going to multiply? In fact, you actually, rather than doing this, I mean, we will do this. That's all true and right, but I think it would be more beneficial. This is what I should have done in the beginning. Be more beneficial for you if I first asked you to do this. First, can we just do like x plus 7x plus 2? Can you multiply this? Can you just multiply? Remember, like the x goes to both, and then when he's done, right? And then so can you do that real quick? Because basically we're going to be doing that backwards. So just do it forward one time real quick, and then it'll make it easier to think about it backwards. So take that x and go to both, and then when you're done, then take the 7 and go to both, right? You get 4 things and then combine like terms. See what you remember. Do you remember that stuff? It's only been a week since we did those. Or I think it was even this week, wasn't it? But it's been a lot of math ago. So you remember what I'm saying? Like x times x is x squared. Remember the powers at x times 2 is 2x. That one's done. The first one goes to both. Plus 7x plus 14. Good so far? So the x goes to both, and then the 7 goes to both. Remember that foil kind of multiplying thing? Then, the middle two are like terms. What do they make? 9x. It's not 9x squared, is it? It's just 9x because when you add, you don't mess with powers. Plus 14, and that's the answer. Good? Now, y'all remember that okay? Now what they're going to do is they're going to start here and ask us to go back to that. Because that's that's called factoring. When you go that direction, and here, let me make this real clear. And when you go this direction, it's called multiplying. Multiplying and factoring are the same thing, just opposite direction. right? So if you take these things and you FOIL them out, multiply them out, first to both, second to both, that's called multiplying. You start with this and you go back to that, that's called factoring. And so that's what we're doing on this question. See how this has three things? And you see the format with the letters is x squared, regular x, no x. That's just like what this has, but with b. B squared, regular b, no b. That's going to become the format in this whole section. They're all going to be trinomials, tri meaning three terms, and it's going to be b squared, b, no b, or x squared, x, no x. And so when you see that, you think, oh, it's one of those double parentheses that was multiplied out and became this. You see how that's why you get an x squared in the front and regular x in the middle, numbers at the back. Okay, so well, how do you know? So suppose you look at this and you go, okay, it's going to be one of those, double parentheses. How do you know it's a 7 and a 2? How do you come up? X is in the front, but how do you know it's 7 and 2? Alex?
The lone number without an x in the solution for that
Uh-huh.
is multiplied.
Yes. Yeah. You ask yourself, what two numbers multiply to be 14? Everybody see that? That's how you come up with a 7 and 2. You're kind of thinking multiply backwards. That's what factoring is. And so you say, okay, I got to get two things that are going to multiply to be 14. What times what's 14? 7 and 2. 7 and 2. But not only that, that's most of it, but the other thing is, because what if I said, well, how about 1 and 14? 1 times 14 is also 14. How do you know it's 7 and 2 and not 1 and 14?
Because if you add them.
Good, and then the middle, yeah, look what happened in the middle. Did the middle come from multiplying? No, it came from adding. See how the middle comes from adding? Right here we added the 2 and the 7. So the middle is the result of adding. When we multiply these things out, the two middle are like terms and they add, huh? So that's what you do. You look at the back number, you say, what multiplies to be 14 and adds to be 9? 2 and 7. All right, let's try it on the b thing. So b squared plus 4b plus 3. It's going to be 2 parentheses. We're going to always put the b's in the front. That's just automatic. And then you just ask yourself, what could those two numbers be that go in the back of the parentheses? And they have to multiply to be 3 and add to be 4. Right? See how we write multiply, add? Multiply in the end, add in the middle.
1 and 3.
Yeah, what two numbers? What times what is 3? Well, 1 times 3, or 3 times 1. Order doesn't matter at all, either order. Both positive, huh? Positive 1 times positive 3 multiplies to be 3. 1 times 3 is 3 and adds to be 4. 1 plus 3 is 4. And that's it, we're done. And again, either order, you could put the b plus 3 coming first. That's the answer. If you actually multiplied that out, it would become b squared plus 4b plus 3. We just thought it backwards. You can check it real quick. I don't know if you're interested. You go boom, boom, b squared plus 3b, boom, boom, plus 1b plus 3. And then that's b squared plus 4b plus 3. It's right. Is that good? See how we think those backwards? It's all about multiply, add. Multiply for the back number, add for the middle number. Find two numbers that multiply to be 3 and add to be 4. That's 1 and 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Shall we try another? The way they do the homework, they just jump right into a hard one all of a sudden. All right, let's try this. I'm going to make those x's. X squared plus 17x plus 72. All right, so right away you see the format, right? X squared, x, no x. See that format? So that means 2 parentheses, x is in the front. That part's automatic. Use your calculator if you're rusty on some of these times tables things. You're looking for two numbers. Don't say it out loud. Give everybody a chance to come up with it. That multiply to be 72 and add to be 17. So what is it? What times what is 72? 9 times 8 or 8 times 9, either order, huh? Those are your numbers. plus 9 plus 8, or you put the 8 first, then the 9. Those multiply to be 72. 9 times 8 is 72, and they add to be 17. We're done. You can check it. I'm not going to bother. It would work if you foiled it out. That good? Not too bad? See how we're doing that? Just thinking about FOIL backwards. All right. About that. All right, so what do we got? V squared minus 8v plus 7. Okay, 2 parentheses. V's in the front. 2 numbers that multiply to be positive 7, add to be minus 8. So what multiplies to be 7? What times what is 7?
7.
Yeah, 7 times 1, huh? There's really no other options, huh? 7 times 1. Now, no signs. Watch how I do the signs. I just kind of hold off on them. I don't know if it's plus or minus or whatever. Just hold off. Let the middle tell you the story on the signs. So what do you got to do with the 7 and the 1 to make negative 8? Yeah, both negative, huh? Because if the football team loses 7 yards and then loses 1 yard, they've lost 8 yards. Right? If you lose $7 and lose $1, you lost $8. And 2 negatives multiply to be positive. Remember the rules? All those rules are coming together, huh? Remember, 2 negatives multiply to be positive, but they add to be a bigger negative. You see all those rules right there displayed, huh? Is that good? So there's our answer. Either order, again, you can put the minus 1 first and minus 7 at the back. Be fine either way. Questions on that one? All is well. All right. I'll move on. Okay. So we got b squared plus 5b minus 14. Give it a try. Careful with the signs. Supposed to be nice weather out there today, right? Like high of 80 or something. Amazing.
I think all weekend.
Yeah. You guys been outside? Last 2 nights have been beautiful. Yeah, you could do that, huh? I would get too allergic if I did that, but sure that cool breeze would be nice. I was out watching my son play his little baseball game a couple days ago with my wife and my little daughter. It was beautiful. I felt like I lived in San Diego or something. The cool breeze and relaxing out. Normally I'm out watching baseball or soccer and I'm just sweating and it's hot. And I'm thinking how much longer till this game is over. We got about, this will probably be our last weekend of nice weather, huh? Before we plunge into the heat.
Everyone that I know that went like to the coast the last few days, it's really cold.
Oh, is it cold at the coast? It's nice here, huh?
So it was on its way.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. They should have waited a week. Coast will be nice next week, probably. All right, so the 2 parentheses. We're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be 14, add to be 5. But yeah. So it's got to be 7 and 2. Let me start with that. But you're right. You're totally right. Let's put the 7 and the 2 in first off, or 2 and 7. Order doesn't matter, right? Those are the numbers, but no signs yet. Let me tell you. I'll give you like a real easy way to get the signs quick and easy. So just put the numbers in first. You know it's 7 and 2, right? Because 7 times 2 is 14, and You know they can make a 5 somehow in the middle with adding or subtracting, right? Now, good so far? Now, the sign comes from the middle. It's always the middle. Whatever's in the middle, let that one tell you the story on the signs. What am I talking about? The sign in the middle is the sign on the bigger number. Yeah, so let me write that. Sign in the middle, right there, is the sign on the bigger number. Who's the bigger number, 7 or 2? 7. So what sign's in the middle? Plus. That is taken by the bigger. Every time, without exception. The sign in the middle will be taken by the bigger. Because he's got to dominate. He's got to make the overall sign come out whatever the middle is. So the bigger one's got to have that so that he dominates. And the other one's minus, huh? Right? Plus 7 minus 2 is plus 5.
That's only the situation when there's a plus and minus in the original question, right?
Yes and no. Well, no, in the sense that whatever sign's in the middle will always be taken by the bigger. That one is without exception. Even when they're both plus, both minus, whatever. Yeah. Whereas the other one may be that same sign as well. He may be opposite. That varies. But it's you can always bank on sign in the middle goes in the bigger without exception. That'll always work for you. Does that make sense? Again, the order doesn't matter. You could have the b minus 2 come in first and then the b plus 7. That's fine. But the signs do. So wherever the 7 is, he's got to be the positive guy. And the 2's got to be the minus on that. Good. Questions on that?
I'm just stuck on
Number 4?
Did you do number 4, remember?
Yeah, we must have had an easier number 4 than you. Yeah, there's our number 4.
No, that's 3.
No,
Oh, you're right. There's number 4.
Yeah, that was way easier.
All right, let's. Okay, so try that one. I'll go ahead and use these S's here. Let's see. S squared plus S minus 30.
and like in the parentheses of the, because you know how you get 2 parentheses, can you have different signs in all of them, or do they gotta have the same sign, you know?
The 2 parentheses, you can, you mean, so the signs in the middle can be,
Like negative, positive.
Yep.
Positive, negative.
Yep.
and any-
can be both plus, both minus, plus, minus, minus, plus.
Okay.
All 4 options are possible.
And the first, like, say the B's, those could be negative or positive also.
So you mean,
Like in this one, for instance.
so like you could have minus S, you mean, or something like that?
Yeah.
No, we won't mess with that.
Oh, so,
I'll give you special ways to always avoid that.
so the first ones would always be positive.
Always be positive, yeah. I see what you mean, Kyle. Yeah, first ones are always positive. Yeah, so the first one's just put S and S, or X and X, or B and B is always positive, exactly. What multiplies to be 30? Well, there's a lot of things, huh? 5 times 6, 3 times 10, 2 times 15, 1 times 30. Those all multiply to be 30, don't they? There's a lot of options for what multiplies to be 30. How do you know which one you want to use? Now, what number's in the middle? Plus, well, the invisible 1. He's there, hiding out. The invisible man, the invisible 1. It's right there, plus 1. Right, is in the middle. So which pair of those numbers has the ability to add or subtract to be the middle, to be the 1? Yeah, the 5 and the 6, huh? Right, can make that 1. So it's 5 and 6. Either you put the 6 first, then the 5, whatever. the order doesn't matter, but the signs do matter. So how do you know what order to put the signs in? Well, the sign in the middle is always taken by which one? By the bigger. Right there. Does that make sense? The sign in the middle is going to be taken by the 6. The plus sign in the middle is going to be taken by the 6, the bigger one. The sign in the middle goes on the bigger. What's the sign on the 5 then? Minus 6 minus 5 is plus 1 in the middle, huh? Is that good? And they multiply. What do they multiply to be? Negative 30. It's beautiful. It's working perfect, isn't it? That's our answer. Again, you could have the other order. I'll put or. You could have S plus 6, S minus 5. The order doesn't matter, but the signs do. Wherever the 6 is, he's got to be the positive guy, and the 5's got to be the negative. Is this working for y'all? Is this making sense? Alex, did you get that old one? Did you figure that out?
Yeah.
All right.
I figured it out.
Good. All right. T squared minus 9t plus 14.
Something come out really easy at the end.
They're buggers. Some of them. All right. So you know the deal. T's in the front. What multiplies to be 14? And when I write add in the middle, we know that means add or subtract, right? Because if you add a negative, that's subtraction, right? So what times what's 14? 2 and 7. 7 and 2, whatever. But how do the signs go? Now remember the rule that you can take to the bank. The sign in the middle goes on the bigger. Now the other one might also have that sign, or it might be the opposite, but it's always the case that the sign in the middle will go on the bigger. What is the sign on the other one? It's also negative, right? Because if you lose $2 and lose $7, you lost $9. And two negatives multiply to be positive, don't they?
So you can just change that because there's no, ordinarily we've taken the positive sign and put it down with the 2, but it doesn't hold true, so you just change it?
Yeah, well, you do whatever
Whatever
makes the
works.
signs work. So what is
Okay.
always true? What is always true is the sign in the middle will go on the bigger. Now, it might also go on the smaller, it might be the opposite of the smaller. That's the part that varies, is what happens with the smaller.
Whatever works.
Yeah, and in that case, you just do whatever works. But the bigger will always take the middle sign,
Okay.
for sure. And the other one, just whatever works. Well said, no, exactly. Just how do you make negative 9? Oh, it's got to be negative also.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so for the smaller number, it's just whatever works.
Because I
But the
did
bigger is
positive and
always.
it didn't work and it bugged me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it doesn't
Well,
work.
that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's right. That should bug you. Good. Cranking these out. These are the easy trinomials. A squared plus 6a plus 72. So 2 parentheses. Use your calculator there. I can't figure out what it is. So A's in the front. How you doing? What numbers multiply to be 72, add to be 6?
6 and 12.
What do you guys got? So here, let me just write down something. 9 times 8, 6 times 12. Then there's probably other ones. Anyway, and then you guys are thinking 6 and 12? We could almost make that work. The sign in the middle goes where always? Always on the bigger, right? That's just for sure. Sign in the middle goes on the bigger. Now, what sign would the smaller one need to make that work? Negative, because then plus 12 minus 6 is plus 6, but does that multiply correctly? Is negative 6 times positive 6 positive 72? Negative times positive is negative. If they had just made this negative 72, then that would be the right answer, right? Because then negative times positive would be negative, and they would add or subtract or whatever to be plus 6 in the middle. That would be right, but it's not a minus 72 at the back. It's a plus 72. So we can't do that. We can't do minus 6 and plus 12. You can't, we'll make them both plus then, because then it's plus 72. Yeah, but then it's not plus 6 anymore. Now it's plus 18 in the middle, huh? Not factorable, better known as prime. Check that option. Yeah, this one's not doable. This one just can't be done. There's not two numbers that exist that multiply to be 72 and add to be 6. That's not true. It's not possible. So sometimes they're just not possible. And that's called prime, right? That's a prime, just like we have prime numbers, like right, like you know that like 10 can be broken down. It's 2 times 5, but 11 cannot. There's no way to break 11 down. And other than 1 times itself. I mean, that's just it again. It's just using the 11 again. That didn't break it down. So there's no way to break down 11. What's that called? A number that can't be broken down as two things multiplied. That's called prime, right? Well, in the same way, this is a prime trinomial. It's a prime three-termer that cannot be broken down to two things multiplied. Make sense? So if it's just not doable, you just choose the prime option. Shall we move on?
In the trinomial, that it would be plus throughout the equation.
Correct. True to say. If both are positive, then everything's positive. Both are negative, then oh no, that's not true. Yeah, if both are positive, yeah. How about this? If the sign at the back, the third sign, is positive, that means whatever they are, they're the same. Because how can two things multiply to be positive? Either they're both positive or both negative. Make sense? So try that one. B squared plus B minus 72. So 2 parentheses, B's in the front. What multiplies to be 72? What number's in the middle there? Hiding invisibly. The 1, right? The plus 1. Okay, so, yeah. What's 72? 9 times 8, 8 times 9, whichever order, doesn't matter. And then how do the signs go? Sign in the middle is always taken by the bigger. And then the other sign is whatever works. So plus 9 and what? Minus 8 makes plus 1. And they multiply. Positive times negative multiplies to be negative. Is that good? Or, of course, you could switch the order and put the minus 8 first and then the plus 9. That works also.
So you always have to check that as a last.
Yeah, check the last sign,
check
huh?
To make sure it works with the negative
That's-
72.
That's right.
That's what I didn't do last time.
That's exactly right. You have to do the last thing is to check the sign on the final one. That's right. correct, Melanie, well said, yes. Yeah, is that good? You always know, by the way, if that last sign's negative. How do you multiply two things and get negative? You gotta have one positive and one negative, huh? And if that last sign was positive 72, how do you multiply two things and get positive? Two positives or two negatives. They gotta be the same, whatever they are. Not a mix, huh? You can kind of know that, and that'll help you. All right. All right, so what do we got? C squared minus 6CZ plus 5Z squared. So some of y'all are planning to do this math, and then 201 in the second summer session, and then 103 in the fall. That's great. You'll be done with like 3 5-unit math classes in 6 months.
I'm doing
June to December. What's
I'm
that?
doing Osterberg's in the fall, 201.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
203.
What's his name? Yeah, it's not.
Isn't it Osterberg?
Almost.
Oster something.
Oh boy, now you guys have said it funny. I've known him for 10 years, and I can't say his name all of a sudden. Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Really
And
great guy.
That's 10 units.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing his double speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Is that doable?
It is doable.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
I'm a little scared.
Is what? What is that?
Mr. There's a way you can do in the fall. You can take both classes at once. You meet 10 hours a week.
I have my little grandson in a couple of weeks, so I didn't want to do it in the summer, and somebody told me about that one. I said, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
No, that's a good plan.
Perfect.
I'll think of his name at some point.
I think it's Ted.
Ted Ostrander. Thank you.
Ostrander.
Ostrander. Yeah. Yeah. Ted's a great
What did I
guy.
say, Osterberg?
He's the nicest guy in the math department.
Close,
Super
right?
super good teacher. People love him, and you probably saw his reviews.
Nicer than you?
Nicer than me. Seriously, he is the sweetest guy. He is. He's really nice.
Is black would be good?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Yeah, and I'm being honest. I've been at colleges before where some of the math teachers are I know that they're not. We have a lot of good people here. We really do. We really do. Yeah.
So you can take 2 math classes at once?
Well, that one is a special one.
The first 8 weeks, I think, is 2.
Yeah, basically the first. Yeah, they do the 9 weeks and 9 weeks. They do the first course, second course. Yeah, you go double speed, so you meet 10 hours a week. This class, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
So, and is that, you can do that for any 2 math classes or not?
No.
It's-
Well,
that's the
no.
only one that does
Yeah,
it.
no, that's a special deal. Yeah, it's for 201 and 103. It's called combo class. They put them together. Yeah.
How do you get into that?
You just register. It's just open. It was just listed in the catalog.
It automatically signs you up for his other.
Yeah, you sign up for somehow it does a double sign up.
Oh, you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose
Yeah.
a bunch of your students for this upcoming class.
No, it's a good way to go. It is.
No,
Yeah.
but then it wouldn't make sense for me to take the 6-week curriculum.
Right, yeah, no, that would, yeah, don't do that. So if you got your grandchildren in the next 6 weeks, it's a good way to go, otherwise. All right, so, I joke around, but I'm probably 5 years from grandchildren.
Not very far.
I know it.
It happens fast.
That's right. And then the weird thing about that is I'll be married to a grandma. I don't know,
That's
that's
right.
just,
That's weird.
my sweet little wife, I just can't picture her as grandma.
I know.
All
I
right.
want to picture herself as grandma.
That's why I'm Mimi, not Grandma. I couldn't go there.
Can't go there. Over time, maybe, huh? Another 10 years, maybe. All right, so now they're doing the double letter thing. This is actually not that hard, really. Normally, think back. Let me just show you. But math is all patterns. It's just all patterns. Let me show you the pattern. Back here on this last one, see how we have b squared in the front on the last one, which means we end up having b's in the front of each parenthesis. It's been the pattern, right? Let me go to another one. A squared in the front. So we end up having a's in the front because a times a is a squared, right? In the front. Well, now we have c squared in the front. So, of course, we'll have c's in the front because c times c will be c squared. And now we have z squared at the back. So guess what that'll mean? Z's at the back. Yeah, otherwise just do the numbers. That's it. It'll all be the same. And we can check it later to show you it's true, but that's all you need to do. Now just do the numbers. Now just go back to the, what multiplies to be 5, what adds to be 6, and just put the numbers next to the z's. The numbers will go next to those z's, whatever the appropriate numbers are. Right? So what two numbers multiply to be 5. What times what is 5?
Negative 5.
Just 1 and 5. Yeah, I'll do the numbers first, then I'll worry about the signs. Yeah, 1 and 5 or 5 and 1, either order. See how I put them next to the z's? So either order, 1 times 5 is 5. And then how do they, the sign in the middle is always taken by the bigger. Always, right? And then what's the other sign to make this work? Negative 5 and negative 1 makes negative 6. So they're both negative in this case. And we're done. That's all there is. So the only difference is, you know, you got z squared on the right, so you put z's on the right. It's all good. It all works out.
In the squares.
You are, right, you're splitting the squares, exactly. Z times z makes z squared, exactly. Is that good? So it's no big deal when they throw the 2 letters in there. It's just the same old thing. All right, let's try this one. V squared plus 4vd minus 45d squared. Okay, so try that one too. Parentheses. So v's in the front. V times v is v squared. And then, you know, there's going to be d's in the back, huh? And then you just do the numbers from there. V's in the front, d's in the back. All right, so what multiplies to be minus 45, adds to be 4? So what times what's 45? 5 times 9, huh? So 5 times 9, or 9 times 5, the order doesn't matter. Now, the sign in the middle? On the bigger, always. And then the other sign is whatever works. So what works? Plus 9 and...
Plus.
What do we, to make plus 4 in the middle?
Oh, negative.
It's going to be negative. It's always focus on the middle. Yeah, it's always... Well, I mean, it's got to work for both, but especially the middle. Plus 9 minus 5 is plus 4, huh? And then multiply to be negative. Like that. Either order, you could swap the order as you know. As long as the 9 is positive and the 5 is negative, either order is fine. Good? To there? Really good? All right. Okay, so a squared plus 4aj, is that what that is? Yeah. Minus 21j squared. So 2 parentheses, A is in the front, J is in the back. Good so far? Now what multiplies to be 21, adds to be plus 4? Good. 7 and 3, right? 7 and 3. Now, how are the signs? Sign in the middle always is taken by the bigger, and the other one is whatever works. So what, to make plus 4, you got to have plus 7 and minus 3. Minus 3. That makes plus 4, and you can double check those multiply to be negative 21, don't they? Positive times negative. So there it is. Is that good? Seeming easy? Easy trinomials? All right. They're going to put a number in the front. So 3x squared plus 18x plus 15. So they put a number in the front. Notice we haven't had that. If you look back to all the problems we've done, none of them had numbers in the front. So what this question's going to be, it's going to be a double problem. It's going to be what we learned yesterday put together with what we're learning today. We'll have to do both things. So first, let me write it here. First, take out the GCF with one big parenthesis. So the first step is to do what we did yesterday. Remember what we did yesterday? We'd look at the three terms, right? I'm not going to write multiply, add, or think about the two parentheses. That's coming in a minute. First, do what we did yesterday. What we do yesterday? We look at those and we say, what's the GCF? What's in common? Yeah, what goes into 3, 18, and 15? 3 does. So you put that in the front, and then one big parenthesis. Not the two parentheses yet. That'll be the next step. One big parenthesis, and you put inside whatever works, huh? You ask yourself, 3 times what will go back to 3x squared? Well, x squared. And 3 times what will go back to 18x? 6x, right? 3 times 6? Is that good? And then 3 times what will go back to 15? Plus 5. Good so far? So we're halfway done. That's what we were doing a bunch of yesterday, right? We'd ask ourselves, 3 times what? 3 times what? 3 times what? Is that good to there? Now, second, leave the 3 in the front and do 2 parentheses. So you're going to leave this 3 sitting in the front. He's part of the final answer. And now do the 2 parentheses for the multiply add thing. So it's like putting both yesterday and today together. So, x is in the front. Right? What multiplies what times what is 5? What multiplies to be 5? 1 and 5. And sign in the middle is taken by the bigger. In fact, they're both positive, aren't they? And we're done. Is that
I
making
got
some sense?
confused there at the end. I thought we were multiplying to get to 6.
You're multiplying for the last number, add for the
The
middle.
last. Okay. It's, the last must always, it seems like it's always been the bigger number.
Usually it is.
Okay.
Yeah, this is rare to have the bigger one in the middle.
Okay, so it's just
Yeah.
the last, not the bigger.
Right. It's just the last one's always multiplying. Yeah. That's right. Not good? See how we did both things there? So the first step was taking out what was in common from yesterday, and then we did the 2 parentheses after that. Okay. Let's try this one. So we got 6c squared minus 42c plus 72. So first, do what we did yesterday. Pick out what's in common. All right, what's in common? 6, right? Doesn't 6 go into all those numbers? What does that leave? 6 times what? Be c squared. 6 times, what, 7? And 6 times 12, right? So that's, so first you do the 1, so the one big parenthesis. And then you do the 2. Now go on and do the new thing. Leave that 6 in the front, right? So we leave the 6 in the front, and now do the 2 parentheses. And you think about the multiply, add kind of thing now. So, let's do that. What times what is c squared? That's just, well, those are just c's in the front, huh? And now what multiplies to be 12? What times what's 12? 3 and 4, or 4 and 3, either order. And the sign in the middle is taken by the bigger, always. The other sign is whatever works. So what does work? -4 and what makes -7? -3 also. They're both negative, huh? If you lose $3 and lose $4, you lost $7. There it is. And the two negatives multiply to be plus 12, don't they? There it is. Is that making sense? Putting both those days together? No questions?
So from
Jose?
to go back to the beginning.
Uh-huh.
So you multiply parentheses and then times 6, right?
Oh, like from here to here, you mean?
No, yeah, like
Oh, like if you want to check it. Check it
Yes,
and work it all out. Okay, yeah, we could check it. Yeah, so if you wanted to check it, here's how you would check it. Yeah, you're exactly right. Exactly. You'd leave the 6, do the parentheses first, and you'd go boom, and so just leave the 6 sitting here. You're totally right. Do the parentheses first. C squared minus 4c, and then boom and a boom minus 3c plus 12, because -3 times -4 is plus. Okay, and then gather like terms. These two would make minus 7c. Right? And then the 6. Yeah, you're right. Then the 6 would go boom, boom, boom. And you get 6c squared minus 42c plus 72. Look at that. Yeah, you're right. You'd multiply the parentheses first and then the 6. Exactly right. You don't have to do that. It's not required. But yeah, you're right. You could check any factoring since it's unmultiplying by just remultiplying it, huh? That's exactly right. All right. Shall we keep going? Okay. So b cubed minus 5b squared minus 36b. Okay, so try this. So first do what we did yesterday. One big parenthesis, take out what's in common. So one big parenthesis. What goes in the front?
B.
Just a B, huh? They all have B. There's no number they all have, but they all have B, huh? Does that make sense? Remember when they have a button, you take the lowest power? Well, the lowest power is B to the first, or just regular B. Remember that, when they all have the same letter? Take the lowest power out. Good so far? All right, now, how do you know what goes on the inside? Whatever works. B times B squared, B times minus 5B, B times minus 36. Good so far? Everybody see that? Because that b to the 1 power will add those powers to go back, right? So far, so good. Now, we just leave the b sitting in the front. Just leave it there in the front. And go to the 2 parentheses. So leave the b in the front, go to the 2 parentheses. What multiplies to be 36 adds to be minus 5. What times what is 36?
9.
Yeah, 4 times 9, huh? There's other things, 6 times 6, 3 times 12, but 4 and 9 are the ones that can make the 5 in the middle, huh? Right, everybody see how we're coming up with that? Am I racing ahead? Is that making sense? So you put down the 4 and the 9, either order. The order doesn't matter. You put the 9 first and then the 4 if you want. Now, the sign in the middle is always taken by the biggest. Right there. Right there, right? Sign in the middle goes in the bigger. What's the sign on the other one then? The other one's whatever works, right? So minus 9 and what 4 makes negative 5? Plus 4, huh? Right, if you lose $9 and gain back 4, you lost 5. And there we go. Is that okay? Does everybody see that? So the first step was taking out that b, because they all had b in common, didn't they? So when they all have the same letter, you take the lowest power to the front, because that's what they have in common, the least common amount. Okay, no questions? All good? Let's try this one. Okay, so m cubed n plus 2m squared n minus 63mn. All right, try that one. Start with the one big parenthesis. One big parenthesis. What do they, well, the first step's real important. What do they all have? Do they all have an M, first off? Right, I'm going to do one big parenthesis. Do they all have an M? Yeah. What's the lowest power of M you see first? Now, do they all have an N also? Yeah. What's the lowest power of N you see? Also first. So that's what you got to take out, huh? M and N. Because they all have that in common. They all have an M, they all have an N. Right? So put that out there. Now put inside whatever works. You know what I mean? Like whatever would multiply to return. Mn times what would go back to m cubed n? M squared. Because the 2 and the 1 would add on the m, and then the n would just be there. That would go back. Keep going. And you know what we're expecting inside those parentheses. M squared m, no m. Right? What we always see. So know that, expect that, make sure that's the truth. Plus, what's the middle one? to m, right? Because the 1 powers on the m's add, just like we're expecting. M squared m, and then the last one, minus 63. No m. M squared m, no m. No surprise, huh? Everybody good to there? Now do the next step. Leave the mn in the front. Do the double parentheses. mn in the front, double parentheses, m's in the front. Good, good. All right, now what multiplies to be 63 adds to be 2. What times what is 63? 7 times 9. So 7 times 9. Sign in the middle is always taken by the bigger, and the other one's whatever works. So plus 9 and what 7 makes plus 2? Negative 7. And they do multiplies to be negative 63. It's all good? Is that making sense? Getting the hang of this factoring thing? This is the next 2 classes. They'll do this and then do many more complex things. This will be like the first step and lead to other things. So you want to, just learn it like the back of your hand.
But then you have a negative value.
Exactly. That's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, right. That's the problem. Yep. Yeah. So, okay. So, first reorder, keeping signs in front when items are moved. Right? So whenever you reorder things, you take their baby with them, right? The sign that's in front of them, minus or plus or whatever it is, when they move around, that thing goes with them, right? So when I reorder these, it's going to be minus v squared plus 4v plus 60. Do you see how I came up with that? Because that minus in front of the v squared is going to go with him wherever he may go. And what's in front of the 60? Nothing, which means positive, is really in front of the 60 wherever he may go. Right? Take their baby with them. Now we're to here. Now what? Now that minus in the front is a kind of a pain. So now when, we haven't had that before, when negative is in the front, factor out minus 1 big parenthesis. So do a minus 1 and do 1 big parenthesis. It's kind of like taking out a greatest common factor. Taking out a minus 1, though. What's that going to do on the inside? Well, just do whatever works. So what works? Minus 1 times what will be minus v squared? Plain old v squared. And minus 1 times what will make plus 4v? Negative 4. Negative times negative. It's positive 4v, right? Good. And minus 1 times what will be plus 60? Minus 60. See how it changed all the signs? Remember when you factor a negative in the front, it always changes all the signs? You remember me saying that yesterday, right? I talk at you for 4 hours a day, and you remember every word, right? Good to there. Good so far. We're almost done. This one has some tricks. Now we can finish it. We just leave the minus 1 in the front. Right? Just leave that minus 1 in the front. And now just do the double parenthesis thing.
And is that the only way to get that right answer?
No, there's other ways. So what multiplies to be 60 adds to be 4? I don't know. Oh, 6 and 10. Yeah, 6 and 10, huh? 6 and 10. And the sign in the middle goes to the bigger. And the other one's whatever works. So So minus 10 and plus 6 makes minus 4, and we got it.
And that one go invisible?
Yeah, but the minus must still be there.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think Mac Excel would take it?
I don't know. Yeah, they might be mad if you put the 1 in there. Try
I
it.
put in the one and it gave it to me.
Good. Yeah, I figured it probably would. They're usually pretty user friendly. Does that make sense? That's pretty tricky. So what did we have to do? We had to reorder first off, and then we had a minus in the front we had to factor out with the one big parenthesis. Then we finished from there.
I didn't even try it without the Mac.
When do we reorder again, when there's only a negative symbol, or is that a letter?
When did we reorder? Well, it was out of, yeah, we like the x squared in the front. We like it, or v squared in this case. V squared, v, no v. Yeah, so we don't want the v squared at the back. Yeah, so we reorder whenever it's not v squared, v, no v, or x squared, x, no x. We want it from highest power on x down to no x at all. And they had it backwards.
Okay.
Yeah, so we reorder whenever it's not highest power to lowest. We want it highest power to lowest. Is that good? Does that make sense on that? You happy with that? All right, so that's section 5.3.